know the best, and thy will shall be done. Thy will has to be done. My spirit shall prevail on my enemies who have conspired to take away my life at this stage. I never knew it. Because I said it for my family and for my nation, but not knowing that I could not help my nation. Enemies.
Dr. Ishola Oyenusi, the rise and fall of Nigeria's first celebrity armed robber. In the chaotic aftermath of Nigeria's civil war, when bullets were cheap and trust in the government was even cheaper, a name emerged that struck fear into the hearts of many: Drive. Ishola Oyenusi. He was not a real doctor, but he didn't need a certificate to carry the title, only a gun, a gang, and a reputation soaked in blood. Little is known about Oyenusi's early life. What's clear is that he came from a poor background. His dreams of education ended when his parents couldn't afford his secondary school fees, pushing him toward a life of crime. Desperate and disenfranchised, Oyenusi began his journey with a single, deadly act: stealing a car to raise money for his girlfriend. He killed the owner of the car, sold the vehicle for 400 nairas, and handed the cash to his girlfriend. It was this act that earned him the nickname, the romantic armed robber. But Oyenusi was far from romantic. He was arrogant, quick-tempered, and ruthless. He soon graduated from petty theft to full-blown organized crime. By the early 1970s, armed robbery had become a terrifying new trend in Nigeria. The civil war had just ended, and guns were everywhere. The black market was booming. The streets were lawless. Oyenusi saw an opportunity and seized it. He formed a gang of ruthless men known as the Dangerous Seven. A group that terrorized Lagos and surrounding states. They operated like a military unit, striking banks, hijacking cars, and killing anyone in their way. Oyenusi didn't just rob, he executed coldly and publicly. His gang struck during the day, sometimes in crowded areas. He would wear sunglasses, dress sharply, and hold his chin high. His fearlessness and brutality earned him another nickname, Dr. Rob and Kill. Some saw his gang as modern-day Robin Hoods, claiming they stole from the corrupt rich to help the poor. One of his associates, Joel Amamiai, echoed this sentiment before his execution, saying, "I have no regrets for stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. I am proud of what I did." But to most Nigerians, Oyenusi and his gang were a plague, symbols of the breakdown of law and order. Oyenusi's luck ran out on March 27, 1971. During a failed robbery in which a police officer was killed. The crime led to his arrest and swift trial. The military government, desperate to stem the tide of violent crime, made an example of him. He was arrested, tried, and sentenced to death. But justice wasn't served quietly in those days. It was turned into a spectacle. Public executions were common in Nigeria during the military era, and Bar Beach in Lagos was the stage, a place where justice was loud, bloody, and televised. On the day of Oyenusi's execution, an estimated 30,000 people gathered. They came not just to witness death, but to celebrate the fall of a man who had held the city hostage with fear. Civil servants even arrived with a fake coffin to mock the once feared robber. At exactly 10 a.m., Oyenusi was brought out from the military truck, sweating, but forcing a smile. His bravado couldn't mask the fear in his eyes. He and members of his gang were tied to stakes and executed by firing squad. The era of Dr. Oyenusi ended in a hail of bullets, and the blood-soaked sands of Bar Beach bore witness to one of Nigeria's darkest legends. But Oyenusi's story didn't end with death. In 1977, legendary filmmaker Eddie Ugboma attempted to capture his life in the movie, The Rise and Fall of Dr. Oyenusi. But fear still lingered. Actors refused to play the lead role, scared that surviving gang members would retaliate. Ugboma ended up playing Oyenusi himself. The film angered some in power. It reportedly exposed links between the robber and certain military officers. In retaliation, Ugboma's store was looted, and his life was threatened. Even in death, Oyenusi's shadow loomed. Dr. Ishola Oyenusi was more than a criminal, he was a reflection of Nigeria at a crossroads. A symbol of what happens when inequality, corruption, and desperation collide. He didn't just rob banks, he robbed the system of its sense of safety. And in the end, the same system turned on him. His life was a warning and his death was a performance. His story still debated today is a chilling reminder of how legends are born, and how quickly they fall.